my friend
Ade.
So Ade got me into SHINee. We talked about it in a story time. I'll link it. You can watch that. Now we're actually going to go through the whole album and listen to it together, review it, react, all of that good stuff. There are some songs on here that I haven't heard, but I think you've listened to all of them.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Sorry. Let's reload that.
Let's go back.
Why did they do that? Was it buffering?
I think so, but I'm not sure why. Okay. Do you know what? I usually don't like rock songs. This is kind of like, it has a rock vibe to it
because of the guitarist.
Yeah, just the way it is, and also I feel like Taemin's voice in that first part was a bit rocky. I mean, usually I don't like it, but with this, I think because it's not too much of it, it's not too rocky, it's still.
I like when it transitions into this part.
This is more pop.
Yeah.
It's actually really interesting. I think you were saying this earlier, how they can turn one line into a whole concept.
Like
just the whole deep.
Yeah, that deep, and then how they're basically underwater, and it referenced underwater in the lyrics as well. And it's Atlantis. It's like
the waves.
They literally got their whole concept from the title and the lyrics of the song and created a whole world. Like through the music video.
Which I like, because sometimes you watch music videos, you listen to a song and you're like,
how does
like
this
the
even
two
match?
don't meet. They don't meet, they don't match, it's confusing. But I like that everything blends together, the outfits as well that they were wearing, the lyrics, you know, because this is a lyric video, we actually get to properly look at the lyrics and just the vibe of the song as well, everything matches together, which I like cohesion.
Yes.
Oh, he's so like breathless there.
I like Taemin's deep voice there. I feel like when they are singing that bit in the verse, like when you said that, oh yeah, they're breathless and stuff, it's like they're panting and stuff. I guess because they're underwater.
Oh!
Like, gasping, like,
oh, stop!
Coming up from the water, like,
stop it! I like it. It's like we're going to English class, like English literature.
What evident explanation?
I love that, but it did. That verse especially sounded very breathless.
Because even Only was doing
I'm coming
that as
to
well.
You.
Yeah, like really pushing through the water, like I'm coming. But yeah, Only and Taemin, they did that really nicely with their breath.
The way he says Atlantis. Can we go back?
Yeah.
I need to hit. Oh, sorry, you go.
It's a bit further than that. Yeah. I even like the beat.
You're missing it! What the heck?
Sorry.
Did we just rewind it?
There's so much to say.
Okay, say what you're going to say.
No, it's just like the beat transition again. So like at the beginning it's guitarist, then it gets really poppy, and then like the beat just drops when he starts rapping.
Yeah.
I just think that whole transition, it seems so seamless, even though those three beats are really different. but it works in the same song.
Yeah.
And it actually makes his rap seem more powerful.
It definitely.
When that beat drops.
Definitely. It's like, oh.
Like,
okay, like something's happening
speaking
right now.
Everybody shush.
Absolutely. Tis. Oh. And with his list, it just adds to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, this is all of them together. I didn't. Who's doing the falsetto on that day? Is that on you? Oh.
Yeah, it was. He ends the note there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did not register that.
Yeah, every time, the first time I heard Atlantis, I was like, they're doing the dance break in the music video, and I'm like, no, Onu's still going. Like, he's carrying that note. It's nuts how long he holds it for.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, Onu, he's that guy, vocal king.
I just like how it just shifts there. Take it away. No! No!
It's Onu's ad-libs as well.
There's nothing he can't do. Nothing. I'm convinced.
He even sings opera.
Yeah. I think I might sing. Ooh. Is that him again?
Oh, that's like he, yeah.
And then we're back
With
like
the
stripped
guitar
back.
riffs. I really do like Atlantis. It does feel like a song that I would be more familiar with in terms of SHINee.
Oh, okay.
So that sound, it is quite SM in the sense. I'm not surprised because like I think it was Yo Minchin. I need to check the
producer.
the producer's name. Like he's worked on so many things for SM. Like, you know, when we were talking earlier about like that SM sound.
Yeah.
I feel like songs like Atlantis kind of give that because they're showing all the different colours. Like, they love doing a good transition in SM.
What, the beat transitions?
With the beat transitions and stuff. Like, the songs aren't
quick.
linear. And they're really seamless. So sometimes you're just like, wait a minute. We're in a different genre of music now.
But it felt like
in the same song.
It felt like we were in different genres within like even half of the song already. We've flipped to like 3 different genres. And the fact that they can keep up with it,
yeah,
I think it says a lot about them.
And then their vocals are blending with the actual instrumentals as well. Even when it shifts, like their vocals will shift. But not too drastically,
and
like
the style. How Taemin was singing in his first part compared to how he was singing. I think was it the bridge or just before Onyu did that, like that long.
Yeah,
line.
he
it's
sounds different.
His voice is different.
In the
his voice is a lot softer in the latter parts of the song.
And then there's some parts of Atlantis where his voice goes really deep.
Oh,
Taemin's, yeah, and then like the pre-chorus. And like the second verse, his voice went up an octave.
Yeah.
And he was modulating a lot. Yeah. Taemin's come such a long way with the vocals. We love to see it. He didn't start that way.
I can't join you on that because I've just come at this point.
No, but Taemin, like, he needs to be so proud of himself. Like, he's actually come a long way with the vocals. Like, he's not just like a dancer at this point. Like, no one can say that. No. Like, everyone knows for a fact now that he's a solidified singer. Yeah, so I think that's just proved that now with all the different vocal ranges he was showing us. Oh, it's Yo Youngjun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's done like other songs like Regular and Baby Don't Stop, NCT, but we haven't got that far yet with NCT. So.
No. Okay, Code.
Oh yes, I like Code.
Is this one of your faves?
Yeah, I like Code a lot.
Don't speak about it, be about it.
Okay, before we start, what I love about this, because I did watch this, what I loved about this is the focus on Key right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And his rap in it is just vocally, the way that you actually get to just...
I like that they even start with a rap.
Oh, true, yeah.
Because it's like grabbing your attention already. Yeah. Like, we're not even going to start with an instrumental or like a tease. Like, we're getting straight into the song.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Don't speak about it, be about it.
His pronunciation of the words.
So cool, so crazy.
I didn't know that. It's so good to see lyrics videos. Ooh. It's like become sexy.
Yeah. Taemin, King of Sexy.
Key's voice. I feel like Key's voice doesn't get enough credit in terms of what he's able to do. We started with a rap that was
just seamless.
Yeah. Then we went to him singing in a very high rate, very high.
I felt like he was in falsetto.
Yeah, but it sounded like he started there.
Wow.
Right? Can we go back? And then he shifted partway through. I don't think his voice actually gets enough credit. He started. Ooh. Sing.
When they all come together.
It's like barely touching the words in that part. It's just like dropping them here and there. Whisper King. Ah.
I'm just looking at the lyrics.
What is this? Is this electric? Ooh, we've gone somewhere different. Let's build it back up. Dance break.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
I don't know, could you even call this part of the song like EDM? Like,
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Oh. Yes, Taemin, you better end that song with that note. Loved it.
Deep. Oh.
Well, for me too. Really
Hold up.
So with Code, I'm actually not surprised that I like it so much because the producers were the likes of Moonshine, and I've heard a lot about them just in SM circles because a lot of the songs I like are produced by Moonshine.
Okay, so you like their sound?
Yeah, I think they did some songs with Super M. They did some songs on their last album. That actually went, I think that went platinum, so that's good for them. But yeah, so Moonshine, yeah, I think they're from Sweden.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, SM, they like that international sound. They do get producers from all over though.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say about Don't Call Me, because I was looking at the producer list as well, that it sounded quite international anyway. It sounded quite But when I was looking at it, it's like some parts of it is quite hip hop, and I was looking at there's this producer. Oh, what's his name? Let me. Dwayne Dem Joints Abernathy Jr. Like American, you know, like he's that guy.
Even with a name like that,
yeah, come on.
I'm not surprised the song was so sad.
When you don't even have you have your name, and then you have the your nickname in your name and Junior. Like, come on. But apparently he's written a lot of songs for Dr. Dre, Janet Jackson.
Wow, that's why I get this
he's a big deal.
Don't Call Me.
Yeah, so it's because of, I think he composed and so he wrote and produced. He was part of the production.
See, this doesn't surprise me because with SHINee coming back, I'm glad they had that caliber with the comeback because they'd been gone for over 2 years. And
they had to come back with a bang.
They did, because so many other
and get people like me.
Exactly. Don't Call Me brought you into the fandom. I feel like with the scene right now with K-pop, and obviously we're now in the 4th generation of K-pop, a lot of people are doing a lot of things right now, and there's a lot of boy groups. It's hard to stand out. Yeah, you need to stand out. And for SHINee, who are from 2nd generation K-pop, they needed to come back with more than just, guys, we just did a cute little song. Yeah. They needed to come back with a bang. Guys, we're here and we're still on top of our game.
Yeah, that's one of the things I heard. That is it Lee So-min, the
he's the
that he was heavily involved in this album.
That doesn't surprise me.
And this song as well in particular, that he kept kind of contacting them. And you think if they've been around for 14 years, you can almost leave them to do what they're doing. But the fact that he's so involved in it means that this was a big deal for him. He needed this to go well.
Yeah, but I feel like it was going to go well anyway.
No, but he needed it on a certain level.
Yeah, he definitely wants SHINee to remain
which is good.
At the top.
But that's good. But that's good. If he's there's loyalty there at least. If he's been with them this long and he's not dropping them for newer groups.
Well, yeah, because SHINee's done so much for SM as a collective, as an agency, as a company. They benefited a lot from SHINee.
But I like that. I like that he was actually involved. As long as he wasn't changing too many things. I don't know what he's like. But I like the fact that, if you're getting a CEO that involved in one of his group's albums, that group is the group.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, should we go? You know how I feel about this song. This song.
Even Don't Call Me. This is top 5.
Do you remember I would text you whilst I was working, and I was like, I'm trying to work. But this came up. I thought I could work and listen to it in the background, and I couldn't.
I sometimes listen to this on loop. I'll literally just put...
but I can't concentrate while, doing other things with this. It's too much.
Wait, I have more to say about Code.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're going back?
Sorry. So I do feel like Code is more reminiscent of SHINee's music that I'm used to. I would actually say that it's very similar to songs like Dream Girl and Love Like Oxygen. I feel like those songs are quite similar to how I feel when I hear Code.
Okay.
So it actually makes me feel comfortable hearing songs like Code.
Oh, okay.
As someone
it's familiar.
It's familiar, but it's still
they're not changing
enough.
Too much.
which I don't even mind because they change all the time and they do so many eclectic different things, which is why I love SHINee. They're always dynamic, but at the same time, like, hearing Code, it gives a sense of nostalgia, but also a sense of moving forward.
Ooh. I like it when you break this down.
Like, they're actually going to the next level, but also, like, preserving what made them special back in, like, 2011, 2012. But, to be honest with you, like, with Code, when I hear it, I do feel like, if Jonghyun wasn't on this track,
that he would pop in a different way.
He would have ate it up.
Like, in which part?
I don't know. I just think, like, you know, when Taemin's singing the like, I feel like
that would be him.
Yeah, like that would he would have sounded really nice.
He strikes me as
vocals.
I haven't discovered too much about him, but what I have discovered is more the power vocal side of him.
Yeah, he's really powerful, but he can really belt.
Yeah, so it's hard to see for me where he, like, Code, him being
where he would fit.
But obviously I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So I get what you're saying. You actually know his tone and all of that. I don't fully know that yet.
I mean, some people might not agree, but I just feel like I can picture
it's an opinion.
him. Yeah, I can picture him in that song.
That part. Okay.
In that song, yeah.
Cool. Are we ready?
Okay, I'm ready for Don't Call Me.
This is a song that started it all, Addy. No, we're doing volume for this. I didn't even realise the knocks.
Really?
No. There's too much to focus on.
Yes, Key. Coming with that savage energy.
I like the way they drag out the words. So you know Key in the line before when he's saying life.
Yeah.
Don't call me in your life.
Like he's showing like I'm
it's
tired.
Like
I'm
the drag. It's like, just and then Taemin when he's saying it's your core. Yeah.
Like he's showing that I'm tired of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Like when they're dragging it, it's like could you go away? But I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. These lyrics. Is that part?
I feel like only I have to say this. Like this bit is actually my favourite bit, like the pre-chorus. Yeah.
Right.
Like when Oni just starts singing, like his vocals just seem really soft. Like everyone was like, and then he's just like it's just a nice contrast.
But it's confusing when you're looking at the lyrics because the way he's singing it, I mean they were, you know, just very like short, sharp, and then there'd be parts where they drag it. And then he just comes with this like,
very melodic,
sweet tone to be like.
I just think it's really
you must be
on
so
the
tired.
ear. Like
it's just, it sounds nice, but when you're looking at the lyrics and hearing it, it's just like, what just happened? Like it would hurt you more.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the way he pronounces things. I felt that was all a harmony.
Yeah.
Forget about the clips.
Oh, the iconic bit is coming.
Oh, I love this.
Sick of all your trash.
Sick of all your trash.
We just kept saying this to each other, wasn't it?
It's actually become...
Anything that we would do that is weird, to explain it to the other person would be like,
Sick of all your
as Minot
trash.
would say, sick of all your trash.
Just, I love that phrasing, like just the way that he said it as well, with just, it felt like he was almost spitting and he
No, he's real about it. And how before it was kind of quiet, we're just hearing the, what's it called? The instrumental, and then he's just come.
Yeah.
Sick of all your trash.
The sick of all your trash line is the most iconic phrasing.
It's that line.
From the whole comeback. Repackage album, the normal album, every title track and performance they did. Sick of all your trash is the quote of the year. Let's see if anyone tops sick of all your trash. We'll wait.
Oh my god, I love it. I'm usually not listening to the song at this point because I'm looking at Jamie dancing. So I was like, oh, is that how he sounds? I'm like, is that how he sounds at this point?
Well, I'm glad that he sounds smooth, so when he starts gliding with his feet,
sense.
it actually makes sense.
Oh, that's poetic. Yes. He's
Key.
him just adding in for emphasis.
Yes, Minho with the ad-libs.
But the way he says it is even nicer than the way the rest of them say it. I'll never pick up. I love this. Come on, Key. That line, that is second to sick of all your trash.
It's the piano for me.
It's almost like like that saying when people say like cry me a river.
Yeah.
Like when people are being savage, like, oh, cry me a river. That I feel like that part is basically like it's the fact that he finishes from that and then they're just like playing the piano for you.
Yeah.
it just adds to it.
Let's take it back to the piano because I feel like, oh, that piano.
Sorry, the chorus disconnected.
The transitions.
Say it, Minho.
Oh, where do I even start with Don't Call Me? Oh, what an iconic comeback. Okay, for me, when Taman is doing that last bit, like just before the song ends,
Yeah.
you can hear like the agony in his voice.
The last bit.
Yeah, like he sounds desperate. But he's like, oh, like.
Oh, okay.
And actually, he was doing those gestures in the music video as well.
This is where like the train, they're at the like train tracks.
Yeah. So I just feel like even when I was reading the lyrics, where he was saying like, I want to find a new love now, like I want to move
but
on.
you can't
like,
when that person just doesn't get out of your life.
It's so, he's like desperate, like leave me alone, I want to move on, like, can't you see I'm in pain? Oh, that song, and then they just all come together at the end. Oh, Don't Call Me is that track, man, honestly.
There's just so many layers to it. There's so much happening. But I think that's SHINee in general, from what I've noticed. They always have so many layers in all of their songs.
Yeah.
It's not linear at all. Even if we forget the beat changes, just their voices, the fact that they're singing in different octaves. Then you've got people coming out whispering in the background.
There is so much vocal contrast in SHINee's music. It just shows like what they can do with their voices. Like, they're not just those guys that just sing with like maybe their head voice or their chest voice. Like, no, they're going into falsetto, they're modulating the key, like they're whispering, they're grunting, like they're doing all of the
Did I just expose myself?
No, you're going grunting.
No, grunting. I'm still a sweet fan.
All that to say.
I just, like, when you said it, I just had, like, images of them. Let's move on.
All that to say, I'm glad that they definitely got, like, #1, like, at the music shows for this song. It deserved it. I'm glad. It was befitting of a great comeback.
But I was really surprised because I watched, like, one of them winning, and Taemin was shocked that they won. Why would they be shocked?
First of all, Taemin has just been on his ones for a while because obviously they went to the army, they were doing their own thing. When they came back, the last time they'd come back was 2018.
Yeah.
And the scene is a bit different now, coming back in 2021. So maybe he was just thinking, do people still remember SHINee? I don't know. I'm just assuming.
He honestly looked so like...
But also Taemin, to be fair, Taemin is actually humble. He's always shook.
I loved it. I just love the fact that he was
people like me?
Yeah, I just love the fact that he was so shocked that not only them, but that song won. It's like, hey, come on. What did you think?
Of course.
If that wasn't winning, then, like, it's rigged.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know what they were going against. I'm not trying to diss anyone, but...
No, there was some strong songs that came out.
But I don't care what comes out.
But...
It doesn't matter. Look at me now.
Wow.
I've really become like...
I introduced you to this, you're already overtaking now.
Yeah, I don't care what they're...
I don't care about anything but SHINee, it's okay.
No, I still have my other groups.
But see, I'm glad that you actually did...
But I feel quite protective of them all. Not protective, but I just feel like, I just want them to do well.
Oh, definitely. Anytime they come up with a song, like
they just seem sweet.
But even with that, when we were talking about it, and I was like, Minho, remember when we were watching Love Struck in the City?
Yeah. You kept going on and on about it, and I was like, what, like, he's not even a main character. Like, can we give it a rest, please? Why did you? And you're like, he's back, SHINee are back, and I was just, now I register what you were saying. At the time, I was just like, okay, one of her other K-pop groups is back.
Can you imagine? See what I put up with?
That's all I thought.
I'm on Netflix parties saying, SHINee's coming back, guys. Minho's gonna be back. He is in a K-pop group as well, guys. They were just getting on with the show. They weren't.
And then when you told us that there's 2 extra episodes because of Minho, and I was like,
1 extra episode.
Why?
Like, it's a Minho focused episode. You guys were like,
I was so confused.
He's a police officer. You didn't do it.
I was just so confused.
I was so offended.
When I watched it, I got it. I mean, I did watch him in Hwarang, but it's just, I didn't understand in that show how they're gonna make 2 episodes or like an extra episode of him. But the way they did it was fine. But at the time, when the way you were saying it, I was like, what? Doesn't make sense. I don't care how popular he is.
But now you know.
Like, give him the whole drama.
Give him the whole show.
Let him do everything. To be honest, let him just show up and do what he wants. I love him. Okay, we're going.
Okay, Area.
Oh, I haven't heard this.
Okay, speaking of Minho, he did write on this.
Okay. So. Okay, this is the one I haven't heard.
He just always starting off all these songs strong.
start there.
Start. He always starts off with Saturday. He doesn't care.
Oh. I wonder what they're talking about.
It's like they're stuck in a place reading the lyrics.
That was cute, right? Sorry guys, the screen record just started shutting down, so I'm actually not sure if it's matched up mid-song, but we're just gonna go with it and see what happens. But here we go.
I like that.
And how it drifts. I feel like this song is made for Key's voice. Like his voice really fits this song.
It was definitely only that was doing the high notes before when he was ad-libbing. How they can make just ooze.
Yeah, I'm
so lovely.
that. This is like a longing to be somewhere.
Yeah, I feel
with
like
someone.
Maybe they don't feel like they're in the right place in their life. I don't know.
I feel like it's more about someone. Maybe we just have to look at it again. Wow.
What were your thoughts on that song, Ariel?
I thought it was quite stripped back, but their melodies on it I thought were really beautiful, and it's really interesting how in every song they really changed their voices to match that song, and this was a lot softer, and it just it felt quite floaty, you know, like their voices. To me, it was just sort of like you can be carried away with it. Like you can sit and
maybe
think
because
about
the lyrics
yeah.
are like they feel like they're drifting.
It felt like that.
So maybe that's why the tone felt drifting as well. But Key and Minho, when they were harmonizing together, I loved that bit. Because it's just like, oh, Minho's voice. I wonder what parts he wrote though.
Yeah.
Because he's on the writing credits
for
this.
what he was part of.
Yeah.
Definitely. It'd be good to know that. Do you guys know?